and welcome to my channel. This video will be a tutorial on doing backgrounds in my World of Flowers book by Johanna Basford. We'll be doing backgrounds with soft pastels. First, remember, if you like this kind of tutorial, to give it a thumbs up so that I know what kind of videos to bring you guys in the near future. If you want to see more adult coloring videos like this one, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribing really helps in supporting my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload more adult coloring videos like this one. In the description box is where I will link all the supplies used in this tutorial. That is also where you can find a link to my Facebook group if you would like to join us over there, where we have color alongs, live coloring chats, and coloring contests. You will also find a link to my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter if you want to follow me on any of those. Now let's have some fun and get into this tutorial. I will be completing the skeleton page in the World of Flowers by Johanna Basford by adding a background to it with some soft pastels. First, I'm going to go over how to use the pastels in your coloring books, and then I will show you how to make a color burst background. So let's go over the supplies that you'll need for this video. The first thing that you're going to need, the first supply that you're going to need for this video is you're going to need your book, of course. And we're going to go to the page that we're doing. And I'll go to that page now. Oops. Sorry. So this is our skeleton page that we'll be finishing. So you're going to need your World of Flowers book and your skeleton page. And I'll just take this sticker off on my page. You're also going to need a blank sheet of white paper, just like this. Just regular size paper. You're going to need a regular size paper like this. You're going to need some scissors, just some regular scissors. You're going to need a blade. Any old box cutter will do, or any old blade will do. But you want to have the cutter inside of something. You don't want to just have the blade because you might cut yourself. So a box cutter is usually what I use. You want to have some cotton pads, and you can get these at the dollar store or any of your pharmacies sell these. They're just cotton pads and they have cotton in them. Face cotton pads, and these are just from I got these from Rite Aid. So you're gonna need one of those or two. You're gonna need something to hold your soft pastels in, and I made a little tray out of aluminum foil. You can just cut out some aluminum foil and bend the ends to hold your pastel paper, your pastel powder, and just put your pastels inside of there. Or I have this little tray that I like to put mine in. It's like a little paint watercolor tray. You can use that to hold your pastel powder. So I'm going to use that for my pastel powder. And I'm just going to put that off to the side. You're also going to need some pastels. And the pastels that I'm using in this video is Mungyo pastels. They come in a small box like this for $32. And I'll just open them up so you guys can see how they look inside. They're really small. It's just a small set. So they look like this. And so I'll be using these, and I'm thinking I'm sneaking one purple from my Artist Loaf set because this one doesn't have a purple in it. So I'm going to sneak one from my Artist Loaf set, and it's a dark purple, and it looks something like this one. So I'll be using that one from a different set, and it's just a dark purple. So if you have a dark purple, you can use yours. And so I'm just going to sit that to the side. And I'll sit these to the side for now. And you're also going to need a brush, some type of brush to brush the powder away. And I'm just going to use my good old handy makeup brush that I usually use for my pencils. So any kind of brush will do. So let's get started, and I'll show you guys how we're going to go about making this color burst background. So first you need to just take your sheet of paper, fold it in half, and then cut it down the middle and get half of a sheet of paper. I already have my half here already cut, so I'm not going to cut this one, but I have my half of paper here. So that's what you want to do with the paper. You just want to cut it in half. And we're going to use the straight edge of the, not the side that you cut, because I don't know how straight that is, but I'm going to use the side that I didn't cut, which is a really straight edge, and that's the side I'm going to use. So I have my piece of paper here now, and so now we need to prepare our pastels. And so I'll just move this out of the way so we can prepare our pastels to use. So now I have my pastels out, and I'm just going to take each color that I'm going to use so you guys know what color I'm using. And I'm going to take my little tray here, and I'm going to put some powder in the tray from the pastels. And so the first one I'm going to do is this little purple pinkish one here. So there's two pink, but I'm taking the darkest one. It's like a pinkish purple. I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm going to put that darkest purple pink right here. I already have some here, but I'm just going to add a little more so I can show you guys how to do this. So you need to take your blade and open it up, and you want to take your pastel, and don't worry, your hands are going to get a little messy, but that's fine. I mean, it's art. That's what art is about. And so you just want to take your knife, and you want to take the blade, and you want to rub it against the outer side, the corner of your pastel. So you see that corner there? That's where you want to rub it at. And you don't want to rub it hard. You just want to softly rub it across it, and powder will fall off automatically into your little tray. And so I'm just rubbing softly, and powder is falling into my tray. And that's what you want to do until you get enough powder in your tray. So I'm just going to do a little, enough for, I think, for the page. And I think that'll be enough for me because I have some in there already. So I'm just going to set this back into the package. And I'm going to get the next color, which is the blue color. And I think this is the one that I used. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth one of the blues, and it's a dark blue. And I'm going to take that and do the same thing that I did with the pinkish purple, and just rub the corner and get some in my tray. And be careful, don't let the knife slide and then cut your finger by mistake. You want to be careful when you're doing this. But it comes off really easily. So you don't have to put much work into it. And I'm just going to do that until I feel like there's enough. So hopefully I won't have to add more while we're in the middle of doing the background. So I'm just going to speed up the tape right here and go ahead and scrape it off. Okay, I think that's enough blue. So I have enough of that in there. So I'm just going to put that back in the tray. And we're going to go to another color, which is green. And so the green that I pick is on the end here. And we're just going to put the green into the tray right here. And I need a little more green, so I'm going to go ahead and add some green. And the reason I'm doing this in the tray and not on the paper is because if I was to sprinkle this on the paper, it wouldn't go exactly where I want it to go. And I want it to go in a precise spot on my paper. So that's why I'm scraping it on to a tray first and then just transferring it from the tray to my paper. If I wasn't doing such a precise, design and I was just putting it everywhere, I would go ahead and scrape it on my paper. But because I don't want the green everywhere, I only want it in some areas. I only want the colors in some areas. I'm scraping it into my tray. So you have to decide if you need to scrape it in your tray or if you need to scrape it on your page. And I'm just going to speed up the video while I go ahead and put this green in here. So I think I have enough green now. And so now I'm just going to go to the next color, which is going to be this purple color. So I'm doing, oh wait, I have one more blue to do. So let me do this blue. And I think the blue that I chose is this blue right here. The third blue. And I'm going to put that blue right there. So I need a lot of that. So I'm just going to go ahead, speed up the tape while I put the blue in. So I got that blue in there now, and I think that should be enough. If not, I'll add more later. But I'm going to do the last one, and I got this purple out of a different set. So there is a darker blue in this set, but it doesn't look that purple to me, and you guys could try that one. If it's purple, I'm not sure, or you can just not put purple at all. But I'm going to add purple in, and I'm going to put it right here. And I'm just going to speed up the video. And I want you guys, well, first, I want you guys to make sure you can see my hand and how. So I zoomed in just a little bit just so you guys can see how I'm holding this. I just want you to see how I'm holding it. So you see I've done most of this side right here. Down here is where I started doing mine at. So I'm going to try to go for these corners here. It's just easier if you go on the corner. And I'm just going to hold it by the other end and just start working on this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video here. And I'll be back once I'm done. So I'm done with that purple, and I'm just going to lay that right in here. So now as you see, my hands are a little messy. So the next step is to wipe off your hands just so you don't get it on your page. And so I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel and wipe my hands off really fast. And you kind of don't want it to spread on your page, so you want to wipe your hands off a little bit. And so now I'm just going to put this to the side, and I'm going to grab my book. So I have my book out, and I have my piece of paper, and I'm just going to zoom out some so you guys can see better. So now I have my piece of paper and I have my book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cotton pad, and it looks like this. I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm just going to press my finger into the fold of it. So I'm going to hold it like this, and I'm going to dab it into my pastels color. And I'm just going to dab it right on in there like that, my finger right in there, and add some to the pad. And I think we're going to start off with pink. Let's start off in order. So let's go, maybe we can go pink and blue and green. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with pink. So I'm going to start off with this color right here, the pink one. And I'm just going to dab my finger into there, just gently, not hard, and grab some of that color. And you don't want to press in there too hard. You just want to dab in there lightly, because it picks up a lot of color. And so you also want to take your piece of paper, and you want to put the paper in by the nose. So you want the end to go right here where the nose is, and you're going to have your paper at an angle like this. And so you're going to hold that paper down, and right where the angle is, you're going to lay that color right along there. Now you want to go in small circles, and you want to lay it along that line. It's okay to go up into the flower, because the color is not going to stick to the flower because you have pencil on it, and the pastel does not stick to pencil. So I'm just going in circular motion, and I'm adding that color, and you kind of want to keep adding as you fade out. You want to fade out, make it a little wider. Keep adding. Just keep going in circular motion. Make sure you get some down there in that flower area. And now you see how I have it down into the flower area. I'm going to just lift up on my paper and see what it looks like. And I have a straight edge right there. So what I'm going to do is take my brush and brush off that excess powder right along there. Now that I brushed it off, I'm going to put my finger back into the pad, and we're going to go on the outside and rub some more of that color on the outside so it can look like it's fading out. And we're just rubbing that color as much as you can get. And if you feel like you need more color, go ahead and add more color to your pad. I'm just going to add just a little so I can put some down here. And I'm putting a little down in there. And a little more up in here. And now since I added that little more, I'm going to brush it off and just rub it gently in a circle. So that's all you want to do. And we're just going to do this going all the way around. And this is the color burst background. So now I'm going to take my piece of paper again. And I want to get one next to this. So what I'm going to do is put this on the nose again, right here. And the last place I went was here. I'm just going to hold that on that nose and turn it. And so I want to get it kind of close to the last one. So about right here seems close. And I'm going to get another color. So I'm just going to hold that right there. And I'm going to take my little pad and I'm going to put my finger on around the next one where it's white at. I'm going to put my finger there. And I'm going to fold. Actually, I'm just going to go on the other side, that way I know. And I'm just going to fold. So you just have it like this on your finger. And I have it where it's white at. And so now I'm going to dab it into a different color. And the color I'm going to dab it into is blue. And so I'm just going over here, grabbing my paint, my pastel powder. And I'm taking my finger and I'm dabbing it into the blue. Not much, just a little. There, now we have some blue. And so now I'm going to hold that paper like I wanted it held there and rub it in circles right there. And I'm going to make this one a little wider. So I'm going to go all the way down into the flower. And I'm just going in circles. And so now that I have it there where I want it, I'm going to remove the paper. And you see how I have that little dust of a line? I'm going to dust away that line. And now I'm going to take my pad and go over it again and kind of blend it out some. And that's all I'm doing is blending it out. So I hope you guys can see that. And pull it down some for you so you can see it. So that one's a little wider than the other one, but that's okay. Because they're not all going to be the same size. It's just impossible to do that. But now I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to put it on the nose again. And I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. I'm going to put it on the nose again, right here. And I'm going to move my paper, hold it on the tip of the nose. Slide my paper around to where I think I want it. And I think I'm going to put it about right here. And so the next color we're going to go up into, so now we need a blank piece of cotton. So I'm going to just go right next to that blue and go into a blank piece of the cotton. And I'm going to pick up the green this time. So I'm going to turn it to the green and pick up the green. Just pat it in there a little bit. And put it here. So you want to go in circular motion. And this one is not going to be that big because it's right in the middle. And so we're just going to do this and keep repeating this all the way around the skeleton head. And so now I'm going to move my paper and dust off that green. And then I'm going to go back over it. And if you feel like you need some more green there, you can put more green there. And because mine is so light, I'm going to dab it again because the green is just really light. So I'm just going to get a little bit more. Now that I've established my line already, I can just add a little more. There, now it's a little darker. But the green is just light. That's just how it is. And there's nothing we can do about that. Some colors show up lighter than others. I'm going to get just a little more and put down here. There. Okay. So that's good enough. So now I'm going to take my paper and put it back where the nose is again. And the nose is here. So I'm going to hold my finger on it, turn it around, and I'm probably going to go about right here. And so I'm going to grab my pad. And now my pad has 3 different colors on it. And I'm just going to put my finger in that missing gap right there. And I'm going to dab it into the purple. I'm going to turn this around so I can get to the purple. You don't want to mix the colors. You want to make sure you don't get the colors mixed in on the pad. So I'm just dabbing it a little bit. And now I'm holding it down and I'm going to put it right up there. And I'm just rubbing that in there. And I'm hoping you can see that. I know it's probably hard to see on camera. So now I'm going to move that sheet of paper out of my way. And I have my line now. So I'm just going to dust it. And I'm going to grab some more purple. My pad, and put some more purple on there. And I think I'm going to put it right here. And so now I'm going to grab a little more purple and just try to darken it up just a little bit. See, it doesn't take much. I put very little and it's darker. So that's how the purple's looking. So let's go ahead and clean that off and go to the next one. And I'm going to put it right on the nose again and turn it until I get to where I think I want it to be. And I'm going to put it like right here. And my next color is going to be the light blue. So I'm going to take my finger and put it in a spot for the light blue. And I got all this open spot over here, so I'm going to put it right here. And I'm just going to turn my thing around for light blue. There. And now I'm just going to hold that paper down and put that blue right here. And so I'm going to remove the paper out of my way. First I'm going to dust it off. I'm going to move this paper out of my way. And I'm going to dust it off. And that blue isn't as big as that purple, so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And I'm just rubbing it in. Adding a little more blue. Not too much. And so there's our blue. So now I'm just dusting it off. And I'm going to take the paper and we're just going to start over with pink again. And we're going to go pink, blue, green, purple, blue. Pink, blue, green, purple, blue. All the way around. So now I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so you guys can see me do all the way around. And you just keep moving that paper all the way around until you get to the end. So basically now I'm going to put the paper right where the nose is. And I'm just going to go over some. And I think over to here would be good enough. It's not too far away. And I'm going to go back to the pink. And the pink, I'm just going to go back to my pink spot and put my finger there. Because I already have a spot for the pink. And I'm going to dab. Going to hold that paper. And I'm just going to rub it in. And you're going to rub all the way down to the flowers. And so now I'm going to move that paper out of my way. And then I'm going to dust it. And I'm just going to rub along the edge to kind of fade it out some. So it looks like it's fading out. There. And now we're just going to go to the next one. But I'm going to go ahead and speed up the tape here. So I just want to say that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you always have the paper on the corner, and you just want to turn your paper every which way from that little spot. So you want to continue to do that all the way around and all the way around this way until you get back to where we were at the beginning. So just remember to turn it, put it on the nose and turn it until you have it to where you want it to go. I'm going to do most of this off camera, and I'll show you the rest of it when I come back. And then, because we still have to put the color on the spider and the little spots where the gel pen color goes, so I'll be right back with the end result. So this is how the finished product looks, and I decided not to put another one here because it just didn't look like it was enough space. But we have all of the color burst background, and now you have to spray it with a fixative in order for it to stay this way, unless the colors will fade away if you don't spray it with a fixative. Now I'm just going to do the gel pen part, and I have a purple gel pen here, and it's sparkly. And so I'm just going to put that in these little dots area. So try to do this and try not to get your hand into the powder part too much. And I'm just adding those dots in there. I'm adding some on the bottom. And this will just give it some sparkle and complete our picture. You always kind of want to add some type of embellishment to your paper, to your artwork. And so I'm just going back over it. So I want to get a lot on there. So I'm going to go to the one on the side of the face over here. And so just all of the dots you kind of want to do. So I'm going to speed up the video while I do all the dots. So what I've done here is I've put a piece of paper down so I can put my hand on there. So the piece of paper that I cut in half, I just laid it on the page. And that way I can rest my hand on top of here without destroying the pastel part. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed up the video again and start doing the dots more. So now I'm going to take my white pen and put some embellishments on the flowers. So I did the spider in the sparkly purple, and I'm just taking my white Mitsubishi pencil pen, or signal ball, uniball pencil, and I'm going to add some white to this flower here, just a couple of dots. It always looks nice when you add a little bit of white. So it won't hurt to add a little bit of white to these flowers. And I'm just going to do the other side. Hopefully I don't touch anything. I probably should have did the white first before I did the gel pen. But okay, so now I've added some white to that, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you guys can see. So I've added some white to that. I'm going to add a little white up here. I'm just adding white in some particular spots. Wherever I see dots, really small dots, I like to add it. Bring it down some so you guys can see. So I'm adding it to this little flower here. And so wherever the flower where you see little dots and little markings is where I like to add the white. So I'm going to go to the other side and see what I see over there. See some down here. And then there's some over here, I think, on this flower up here. I'm trying not to touch anything. And it always looks nice on top of purple too. So if you can add some dots on top of purple, it always looks nice. I think that's the only place I see it. Got a little here. I kind of want to give this one some. But I'm not going to do all of them. Just going to do a few of them. So it just really helps make that flower pop. So I'm just doing it on a little spine of this one. There. And I think that's about it. If you want to add more, you can always add more. But I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see how it looks. And this is our color burst background on the skeleton that we did. And I want to thank you guys for joining me. And have a colorful day. Bye.